First application is 12 West 72nd Street. Stephen, is that you? Did I get that right? You guys are
Onto the
muted.
right link. We were muted. I think there was a bit of confusion with the links,
Thank
But
you.
we're
but we made
here.
it.
We made it. The public, none of the public got the wrong link. It was just us. So you guys should feel free to share your screen and get started with your presentation. And what we'll do is we'll go through your presentation. We'll take any questions from the committee. We'll ask the public if they have any comment or questions, and then we'll have give you a chance to respond, and then we'll have a discussion as the committee. So feel free to share your screen and get started.
Great. So we'll show our images that we submitted to you. Okay, so we'll start with our narrative. What you have a suggestion of should we start with our drawings, or we'll do our narrative ad hoc as we show our images? That makes sense. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
It's very small. Oh, wait.
Oh, let's see if we can
Okay.
make it bigger.
No, I solved it here.
We'll open it another way so we can make it bigger.
I think it's okay. It was my
It's
problem.
okay.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So we're as you know, in 12 West 72nd Street. It's an Emery Roth building on West 72nd, just one building in from Central Park West. And we're working for our client on the 19th floor? The 19th floor in an apartment that has some street frontage and has some side and rear frontage. So the street, can you see my pointer?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the street's here. And so our apartment has one, two, three, two double windows and a single window facing the street. They look directly north. So the locations where we're hoping to be allowed to do under window PTAC units are on the side elevation here, as circled in red, and on the back side here, as circled in red. So we took photographs at certain distances from the building crossing 72nd Street. So we're on the south side, we went to the north side and we started walking down the north side to see what, if anything, we headed towards, of course, west towards Columbus to see what, if anything, was visible from the street. And here, from about maybe about 100 foot west of the building, we were able to just catch a glimpse of the top of our window, under which the PTAC we're proposing to be located. But we couldn't we couldn't see the bottom of the window, just that little corner. This right here is a close-up, well, miraculously taken with the longest selfie stick you've ever seen. We managed to remove the selfie stick from our photograph, but this is maybe I'll enlarge this so everything's so small in life. Okay. There we go. So it's a single window set back about 9 foot from the street wall. And it already has a replacement window in it from several years ago. So the reason that we're here in front of you rather than working at the LPC level is because the LPC noted that our rep there, James Rusiello, noted that there is a soldier course of bricks standing on their ends that sit underneath our sill. And there are also picked out vertical bands of full bricks mostly. Yeah, full bricks for the most part. So these that you're seeing here are caulk lines, I believe, that were done by the building during a waterproofing exercise at some point in the past. That's just a guess, by the way. But they're so bright that it makes me think they're new rather than sooty like the rest of the brick. So we can't really the reason that we're staying in these locations under the windows rather than shifting away from the window in either case is because the PTACs are a replacement for the radiators, the steam radiators under the windows, as is commonly the case in pre-war buildings. And so the steam pipe comes up and then goes down, supply and return, on either side of the window. And we're sort of obliged the PTAC needs to reconnect to those two supply and return pipes, and they're completely set up so that whatever unit they connect to is directly under the window. We can't swing it around to the right or the left of these windows where it defeats we can't make our connections properly. So we're asking for relief on this. Here's the drawing of it. So you see that we've been able to size the register. This is the proposed flush register for the PTAC unit. We've been able to, with the manufacturer, to size it exactly to the width of the window. But it can't come lower to avoid that soldier course because our floor is very close to the bottom of this, and it needs to sit up for return air a few inches anyway from the floor. Let's see, while we're on this sheet, I'll show you that again, working with the manufacturer, we were trying to get the best color match that we could. It's not exact, but there are different colors around here, including the window frame, which is another color. So our thinking here with this color for the register is that it would collect soot pretty quickly once out in the air in New York City, and also once in use, and it would darken slightly. We liked the tone of the color, but it will probably collect the soot from usage and from the air. Let me now tell you about that. So there's a second window, which is the rear facade. To call it a facade, maybe not so accurate, the rear elevation. And so here we have been able to, with the manufacturer, to oversize the grill so that we can fit between this row of stacked brick and this row of stacked brick. So we're trying to make it purposeful and to integrate as much as we can with the decorative features of the facade. And let me show you on another sheet. That's this elevation right here, that double window, that wider register. But I would like to point out that neither of these window locations for the PTACs is visible from anywhere that we can find. The side view not visible from across 72nd, and the rear facade not visible from anywhere at street level. let me just flip to a few more photographs. So here's another shot of our window, which still shows that it's just the top of the window that's visible. Here, from a slightly different angle, we're actually on our north side of 72nd, having walked west on the cross street towards Columbus. The window is just not there. It's out of sight because this neighboring building, one building to the west, is right next to us, and it's almost it's about 2.5 floors lower than the shoulder of this piece of building that we're in. So it immediately starts to block it, or it never really allows anything more than the tip of the window to be shown, to be seen. Here's another shot just for to kind of continue the theme that that as you go further and further away, it becomes less and less possible. I mean, all the window drops out of sight there, and all you're left with is that kind of triangle of black brick. I also wanted to mention that immediately to the kitty corner to our PTAC, our proposed PTAC unit in the back, are units which I think they're through wall air conditioners, which have been installed over the years, not approved by LPC, perhaps because they were done before the building became part of the historic district, or perhaps done without contacting the LPC. We're not really sure. We didn't talk to these owners, but they have invaded the soldiers course. Not saying that this is right or not, but saying that that they weren't, that it had they been filed properly and at the right time, the right year, the LPC and you folks at MCB7 would have been consulted about them. But there they are, and they're all over the building on the rear facade. We just captured one that we could get a good picture of. So
Excuse me,
yes,
can you lift that image up again?
this one
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, this photo on the left with the thin black arrow pointing to it,
Yes.
is that what you're proposing?
Yeah. No. No. Not at all. We're
Do you
just
have a
pointing.
rendering or a picture of what you're proposing?
Yes.
What it looks like? Not this. This doesn't show me what it looks like.
So you're looking for something other than a line drawing?
Yeah,
Jay, it'll
looks-
look just like that, but it'll be set flush to the building instead of sticking out. It'll be better looking than
What-
the
what-
photos that's existing there.
So your answer is you don't have a photo.
They don't need to have a photo,
Well, that,
but they may not
Adam,
have one.
I don't know what that means, Adam, what they need to have. I want to, all I'm concerned about, I'd like to know what this is going to look like. Right now, all I see is a white rectangle.
Jay, it's Clara here. I think what they've said is that they're proposing a paint that is a beige color that they
Right.
showed us. It's flush.
But
It
it's
has
louvers,
louvers.
is it not?
But it's set flush, unlike the neighboring through the
No,
wall.
I understand
Yeah,
the
yeah.
description. It would be helpful to me, and
Sure.
I apologize for my ignorance or lack of ability to picture it, but it seems to me pretty basic to either have a rendering or a photograph. So that's it. If that's all you have, then that's all you have.
We're just looking to see. We were given an image of what the PTAC register looks like by the manufacturer. And do you want to look in our on our-
Any, while they're looking, any other questions for the applicant? And is there anyone from the
Yeah,
public who
emails
has
to look at
questions? Just this, I think, is a fairly straightforward
spreadsheets
application.
this guy sent to you.
And almost always these are approved at the staff level. It's just because they're removing that one course of soldier brick that we have to view it, but it's also very high up in the building. Any committee, or again, if you're from the public, if you could raise your hand. Okay,
Seems pretty
Um,
straightforward.
so seeing none, we'll continue to let you look, but are people okay moving to a discussion?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, sorry, yes, Beth. We will allow Beth to talk. Beth, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you. So the one thing that I think is pretty important about this kind of change moving forward is that I think it's much more ecologically sound to have this kind of unit than the constant issues with. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that person.
No, please finish your comment.
No, that's just something that I'm really hopeful for in my current building currently has a D rating, I think, and I'm hoping that this helps. And I know other people in my building, you know, are curious to hear what happens with this because it is a popular way to move forward. And
Excellent.
so,
Is the speaker a resident of this building, or for that matter, the apartment owner?
yes, this is my apartment that we're
Okay.
discussing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth,
Thank you.
for clarifying.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you for searching to find something, but I am just gonna share my screen since there we go. That's what it's gonna look like, but painted a different color.
Thank you.
I am
Great.
going to share the resolution that we had drafted, for any comments. And maybe we can take a vote. So again, this isn't gonna go to a full board. When we transmit it to LPC, we'll say that this was just the committee that met via Zoom. But this just says it's an apartment building in the West End Collegiate Historic District Extension. The louvers are similar to existing installations in the building and are colored to match the buff brick. Any comments? Otherwise,
Yeah, we haven't heard anything that says they're similar to existing installations. It sounds like this is
are better. You want to say better than existing
No,
installations?
no, I mean, what is the fact? Are there other PTAC units with this type of louver in the building?
They're
They
not
compare-
PTAC, they're
what-
three-wall air conditioners.
Or whatever they're called. No, the other
Yes.
things.
The other
that-
things are, there are existing through-wall air conditioners that the
and we saw
applicant showed a
those.
photo of. Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I think this is gonna look better than those.
I tend to agree. I just wouldn't say they're similar. I would say
Okay,
less obtrusive than existing through wall installations, I think would be
okay.
more accurate and more persuasive.
Good.
Any other comments? Okay, all in favor?
How do you want to do the vote? Yes, I guess we raise our
Yeah.
hand.
I see 5 hands, so I'm gonna say 5-0-0-0. Thank you very much for joining us. We
Thank
will
you.
pass this along to LPC.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Excellent. Our next
Good luck with your
applicant,
next applications.
Thank you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Next we have 180, and I believe that is Jason, so let me promote him to panelist. And Leah, I didn't see your materials come through and we didn't have you on the agenda. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to put you in September. I'm really sorry about that. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
happened.
Hello, everyone.
Just one
Sorry,
second,
it's-
Jason.
Hi, yeah, I submitted it last Wednesday on that Google form.
Yeah, I don't know if it didn't come through and we didn't add you to the agenda. So unfortunately, we can't add you now. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We did not see it come through, and I did not get an email that it did come through, and I'm very sorry about the technical difficulty. Is there another member on your team that would have emailed us also?
No, it was me. I just submitted it on that Google form with all of the things that are required for it, and I got an email saying that I submitted it.
You did,
Oh.
huh?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Well, okay, hold on for a second. Did you, and you posted it? You put all the postings up for folks?
Yeah, I did, and I added those photos into the Google
So
form.
it's quick committee sidebar
Yeah.
that everyone can listen to. Are people okay? It was not on the agenda, but it was publicly posted.
Okay.
Do
What is-
people still,
What
are
is,
people,
what is the item?
I'm not sure.
It's
Oh,
265 West 76th, and I don't have the information, but if you have it, I do not have it in our drive for some reason.
Yeah, and I could show you the email to
Yeah,
to
if you
saying,
send,
yeah,
can you forward me the email?
sure.
And then I can actually try to upload it while we're speaking.
but what is the nature of the application?
The quick thesis statement of the application is to um, uh, add a new gate to one of our side egresses.
Okay, I think to me that sounds like something we can add to the agenda in here today.
I'm
think
sorry,
so.
I didn't catch it. A new what?
A gate,
Gate.
new gate.
Gate. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Jennifer, can you please give me, or is there a way I could find your email address? Is
Yeah,
it on
can I
You can
chat?
just-
Can I chat with you through the
you can just send it to the preservation email address, but I think we're gonna be able to add you.
Yeah.
But
Thank
we
you.
will work on that. Apologies to
No
Jason.
worries.
Feel free to get started.
Okay, so good evening, committee members. Thank you for hearing this application tonight. It's fairly straightforward. Our proposal is for a master plan for replacement windows for 180 Riverside Drive, which is at the corner of West 90th Street and Riverside Drive. It has 2 street-facing facades. The master plan would cover both street-facing facades, and it would allow for replacement aluminum windows in the building. So here you can see the 1940 tax photo. Building was built in the late 1920s. The significant architectural features are all still intact. It's actually a beautiful building. It's very well maintained. You'll see that the windows are set sort of deep into their masonry punched openings, and they weren't necessarily a major component of the original architecture. The building was designed by Schwartz and Gross, and they had designed many buildings in the neighborhood, which we'll see later in the presentation. And they used a combination of divided lights and 1/1s. And we believe that the building would have been designed originally to have 1/1 double hung windows, but maybe due to financial constraints at that time, it was built with divided windows. By the time of designation in the late 1980s, most of the windows had been already changed over to 1/1. And at this time, 100% of the windows are 1/1. Most of the life of the building, the windows were a light color. We did do a paint analysis, and so you would have seen in the 1940 tax photo that the windows looked a little bit darker, but that only existed for a short period of time. So we'll continue here with additional photos of the building as it is today. All of the windows are white, and we propose to allow for replacement windows as in white. And just in the event that not all windows are replaced, we want the building to still have a consistent look rather than choose a darker color or a cream color. Let me see if I can get this to scroll over. Why is this? Give me a minute to load.
But just while you're still there, the second
Yeah.
floor on both the
Yes.
left photo here and the right photo from 1989, those have a different configuration. Those more decorative. They have
Which ones are you asking about?
the above the entrance and the.
It's the same today as it was at that time.
So what are you proposing for those as part of the master plan where they have some muntins in there?
So the double hung, there are tripartite, there are singular, and there are double hungs. Many of the tripartite windows, initially they were all double hung. It was a double hung narrow, a double hung wide, and a double hung narrow. Many of them have since been changed, and you can see here in this designation photo, to have a picture window in the middle. Our proposal is to go back to the original standard and make them consistently 3 double hungs within the tripartite openings. In the double hung openings, they would remain double hungs, and in the single, they would of course remain as single. Is that
So
what you
if
were?
as we're looking at the photo on the right, if the
Yes.
window to the left of the entrance were to be replaced, it would be replaced with a double hung. Under your,
That window, no, that would be a tripartite double hung.
The one that is now tripartite would again be tripartite?
Correct. The configuration of the proposed windows will match identically to the configuration of the original windows.
well, but so as we look at the entrance,
It's asymmetrical at the entrance. Maybe that's what you're
yeah,
asking.
the one to the left is a different configuration than the one to the right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
And you propose to keep it that way.
correct.
Can I ask why?
That's the historic condition. So the cadence of the building, if you look at I guess the photo on the left here in this slide, you'll see that there's, at the corner, there are single double hungs with masonry piers. And then next to that, you have a series of tripartite windows. And then you have 2 double hung windows. And then again, a series of tripartite. The lower floors are a little bit different than the upper floors in some areas. I think it has to do with the blend of the apartments. Some are living rooms, some are bedrooms. And there is a symmetry to the facade. The ground floor where the entrance is of course asymmetrical because there's one entrance. Above that, the windows are standardized. And so the column of windows, when it comes down to the ground for the second floor, third and second floor next to the entry, is the same as the windows above, even though it's asymmetrical at the entrance.
But they don't appear to be standardized because it appears on the second floor that some of them, and I'm looking now at the big left picture,
Yep.
Some of them are tripartite. And then as you go further, it looks like a pair of double hung. And then as you go further, there's a very big divider between 2 double hungs.
It's like a
I
pier.
can't-
Yep.
Pier. I can't tell going left because the tree and the angle block that out.
So I'll show you in the elevation drawings. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, I mean, let me start over if I could with my question, because this is getting
Okay.
confusing. What are you now proposing for all of these windows?
I'm proposing to replace double hungs with double hungs. If there were single double hungs, they will be replaced with single double hungs. If there were double in a single masonry opening, they'll be replaced with the double in a single masonry opening. If it was a tripartite in a single masonry opening, it will be replaced with a tripartite.
If
in a
they
single.
were when?
Original.
Are you suggesting that the original windows in that photo to the left, to the right of the entrance, they were double hungs, and to the left of the entrance, they were tripartite originally?
Yes. Yes.
Originally.
Yes.
But then
And that
to the
has to
right-
do with the windows. If you look at the main portion of the building, you'll see, like I was saying, a double hung with the masonry pier, a double hung. Then you'll have a set of tripartite windows, and then you'll have 2 double hungs in the middle, and then another 3 tripartite windows and a single and a masonry pier. So it's symmetrical above, and as it comes down, the entrance is asymmetrical because there's only one entrance. And that won't change.
I still don't understand what you're proposing for the master plan.
The
Okay, so
proposal, I
let's-
think, is that whatever windows were there originally when it was built, that patterning is what they are proposing go forward.
That-
We're not
Adam,
changing
Adam, you're
anything.
correct.
All that's,
Regardless
we
of
just need
whether
to
it's-
approve, regardless of, I think there-
regardless of whether or not they were symmetrical, as long as they were, the original configuration will remain, is what you're saying.
Correct.
correct.
Yeah, they're not, the entrance is not symmetrical because of where it's located within the facade.
Right.
For some reason, I still cannot slide. I think it's a Wi-Fi issue, but
So actually on this slide, the one at the corner has a square, a diamond
okay.
shape.
Yeah, I knew you were going to look at that. So good eye. That is something that is decorative. It's hung on the inside of the window. It's not part of the window. It belongs to the person who lives there, and it's like a
It's
little decoration they hung in their window. Nothing to do with the window. I'm sorry that I can't slide to the next slide. Maybe if I stop presenting and start again. Nope, still not working. So I think we're stuck. Maybe it's going to move. So, but anyway, what is important to know is that the current replacement windows are pretty simple, square orthogonal panning. We did do a probe to identify the original brick mold wood windows, and we've proposed a new window which takes advantage of what we found by proposing an additional step and a rounded beaded corner. So it'll have a historic profile at the perimeter of the window and within the mullion itself, but the windows would be a 1/1 configuration at each double hung, which matches what's there today and matches similar buildings designed at the same time by the same architect.
white aluminum on the outside and wood on the inside?
White aluminum on both sides. The original windows would have been wood. There'll be wood. People have wood trim in some cases, but
Right.
let me see if I can stop sharing.
Any other questions?
No. Seems pretty clear.
Anyone from the public have anything to say? Lee, I see your hand is up, but I assume that that's regarding your application, which we will get to. So good there. Okay. Fine if I share my screen and we move to resolutions. That work for folks?
Sure.
Okay, excellent. Okay. 180 Riverside is an apartment building located in the Riverside West End Historic District. Is this correct? Originally, it exclusively had divided light windows. However, most windows were replaced prior to designation. The proposed window plan matches the existing windows. Is that
That's correct.
Hold
Well,
on.
well,
With the caveat that the proposed windows will have a decorative extrusion that mimics the historic brick mold that would have been
Okay.
present at the time of construction.
didn't you say that that originally they were double hung?
Yes,
But
So,
with divided lights,
yeah,
like 6/1 or 3/1.
yeah, the original windows had divisions, but that was what we believe that was a function of cost and budget, not architectural intent. And the building has a lot of very nice masonry and cornice and water table features that remain intact. And the windows, like I mentioned, are recessed sort of deep into the masonry openings. So you don't notice them as much, and they're recessive architecturally. So the 1/1s would have been part of the original, would and could have been part of the original design, but were not installed that way for some reason. But for most of the building's life, they've been 1/1.
So I think this doesn't make sense factually. On the second bullet point, it says most windows were replaced prior to designation. Were others replaced subsequent to designation?
Yes, the entire building windows, replacement windows, were installed since designation.
And
we don't have-
LPC approved all the current windows then? Well, all the ones that were replaced post designation.
Correct. But we'd like to do, one single upgrade all at one time, especially for energy efficiency and for consistency, but it may or may not happen that way. So we're applying at this time for a master plan, which will establish the type of window and look of the window so that they can be replaced.
We'd like to see the master
but-
plans.
But
That's a
then
good thing.
the third bullet point doesn't, I think, make sense either, because it says it matches the existing windows. But the existing windows are not recessed. You are proposing to recess them to be more.
They are.
What?
No, they were originally, and they are now, more so than other buildings in the district. Sometimes some windows sit sort of flush with the masonry, and the divisions become an architectural feature, and they're expressed. In the case of 180 Riverside Drive, the windows are somewhat recessed into the masonry openings and somewhat in shadow. Many of them even had awnings at one time, and the architectural features that are important to the building are really the sills, the lintels, the cornices.
Yeah, just to put a finer point on this, Clary, here's what's happening.
Yeah.
Originally, the building was built with these divided light windows. They're
Yeah.
going to go to LPC. Presumably, there's going to be a discussion at LPC of like whether or not they have to go back to the divided light windows, right? Jason is making the argument saying like maybe the building as intentionally designed wasn't even supposed to have the divided light. They only put that in because it was cheaper than 1/1, right? It's flipped. Today, divided light is more expensive, right? Because it's more complicated. But back then it was cheaper because it's smaller pieces of glass. At CB7 in the past, when we have approved these window master plans, we've just looked to say, is what's there now getting what's matched? Are there any historic windows? And when we say there are no historic windows there, and what we're approving is the same as what's already there, then it's okay. So to me, I look at this and I say, there are no historic windows left. There's no evidence that there was ever divided light windows. They're proposing to basically keep what there is, but eventually all the windows will be the same. And to me, I'm like, great, we approve that all the time.
Well, I understand that, Adam, but you just said there's no evidence there were ever divided light windows, which may be true lack of evidence, but this affirmatively asserts that they were all divided lights.
I didn't say, I said they were divided lights.
Right.
I agree with you. But there have not been divided light windows in that building for a very long time.
Any, including now?
Believe there are any divided light windows remaining
Are there
in the
no
building.
divided light windows now?
There are no divided light windows at this time, and probably for 30 years,
Mhm.
maybe longer.
Good.
And so obviously the windows that are installed today are reaching the end of their useful life. Their energy efficiency is much reduced, even though, from what it was. And today's windows are much stronger from that point of view. And we hope to be able to give this building the improvements in that sense. So that's why the board is interested in going forward with this window replacement project. But obviously they want to maintain the look of the units, from the inside, which is the 1/1 aesthetic.
Okay. Any other comments? Otherwise, I think we have what we need. Can we put it to a vote? We're basically voting. If we vote on this resolution, we are voting to say that how the building looks today, we're good with, and it can continue to look like that. Any other comments?
Well, we typically approve applications like this if the overwhelming majority of the windows, even if they're not historically accurate, have been replaced and the building otherwise has architectural features outstanding other than the configuration of the windows. I think this application meets that standard, so I can support it. It would be nice to go back to divided light windows, because I agree that there's, we don't really know uh, with certainty what 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 was original, or
Well,
if some
so
of it
just
was and
Jay,
some of it
we
wasn't.
do know what was original. We don't know what the architect's non-financial thing was, but I think what I'm hearing is a yes from you. I think I have a yes from Kay.
Yeah, I'll vote yes.
So, okay. All right. All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. Okay, so it will pass 4-0-1-0. Jason, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay, next we have Tip Top Shoes with Alex. Alex, there are two of you on, so I'm gonna promote both of you. And feel free to share your screen. And yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Hello, everyone. I'm going to try to make this. I'm with Lester from Tip Top. My name is Alexander King, and I'm with Nash Design, who is the designer of the proposed sign for the refacing of Tip Top Shoes on West 72nd Street. Can everybody see
Hi
my
there.
screen?
Good
Yes.
afternoon.
So I'm going to try to keep it pretty brief. This one, we're mainly just going through one facet of the refacing of the sign. So this is the historical photos back from the I believe it's the 40s of West 72nd on 155. This is the current state of the storefront. So essentially, this sign, the facing of the sign is a flat vinyl sign, probably from the early 2000s, like many storefronts did. And Lester has hired me to redesign the storefront to give it more character, much like the Barney Greengrass sign and many other signs around New York City, who are starting to realize that fast, quick vinyl signs not only don't look the part, but they don't last, frankly. So thankfully, a lot of business owners are going back to signage from the 1940s all the way through the 1980s, back when craftsmen were more so designing them compared to a quick vinyl shop, so to speak. So in this application, I'm going to show you the new face of the Tip Top sign, very familiar with Barney Greengrass storefront. And there's two portions of the sign on the left and right that are triangular illumination. And that is what we essentially are presenting to you, while all the other signage is okay based on existing premises of the storefront. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So here's a little like history lesson. This is Lester's, I believe it's Lester's your father.
That's my grandfather, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
In the 1940s, 50s.
That's probably, no, the screen left is probably the early 70s, and screen right is right around the same time.
So when Lester hired me, I essentially started by going through the archives of Tip Top signs. Like they've had 3 or 4 different iterations of signage based on the popularity of certain styles, etc. And what I wanted to do is merge 2 of the most popular styles, and obviously an economical way to make it feel impactful for today. So this is the original sign, these really unique triangular pieces that illuminated back, and like Lester said, in the 70s, women's shoes, men's shoes, and this is a black and white photo of a slightly different angle. Now, after that sign was this sign, which is very similar to the Barney Greengrass, where it has channel letters, and there's many signs around the city that still have this, this facade right here. So we have number 1 with the triangular pieces, and then number 2 with the kind of the 3D letters, let's say.
What was the material of those 3D letters?
It's all, I believe, it's acrylic. So all of them for the past like 50 years have all been the same kind of acrylic. They're still handmade, hand cut. And everybody's familiar with the Barney Greengrass sign. Probably one of the best examples still around in the Upper West Side. Still very classic to this day. So this is the sign right here that we're proposing. And the Tip Top shoes in the center is very similar to it's the exact like Barney Greengrass channel letters. And then on the left and right side, these triangular pieces, those mimic the sign from the 1970s. And instead of it saying, Tip Top and repeating it, what we're doing is honestly, it's based on classic cobblers and shoe stores around the U.S. from the 1940s and 50s and 60s, with men's shoes and women's shoes, and promoting family-owned and operated business. And then one of the famous taglines is "Where your feet are in good hands," that Tip Top consistently uses. Now, all the typography on this sign is hand done by me. It's not a font. So everything has been meticulously thought of and cared for to really beautify 72nd Street. And that's been very important, not just to myself in designing many businesses around New York City, but also Lester as the proprietor of Tip Top.
Can you explain the vertical Tip Top shoes piece at the right of these?
Sure, that blade sign is not, it's just being refaced. So that one, while it's in this rendering, that's not for consideration at this time. It's the exact same thing that it was previously. And here it kind of describes, and I can read through this, it breaks down kind of each piece. So number one, original Tip Top, like circa the 1950s and 60s, due to the unique nature of the original design, I like to bring back the illuminated triangle as a secondary element that sells our services, being Tip Top, alongside men's and women's shoe illustration for a classic touch. And number two, as I spoke about, the 3D channel lettering based off old signage, and the Barney Greengrass being the best and closest example, proximity-wise. And then number three, the classic men's and women's illustrations accompanied with traditional brand messaging for Tip Top, just to really be hopefully bring a lot of smiles to people's faces. Just when I see a great sign around New York City, I mean, I design signage, but I appreciate it, whether it's old or new, that it's still around. And then these pieces since 1940, and the address 155 West 72nd, those are 3D acrylic lettering. This classic, it's not going to compete. It's kind of in the background, but it looks nice. So these are the elements of the sign.
Is the coloration that you're showing what it's going to be, the dark blue and white?
Yes, sir. So the current sign in Tip Top's branding is like a navy blue with white. The edges of a lot of these signs has a kind of brass finish, gold finish to the frames of the letters. That's why there's an outline around the letters and the actual casing of the sign itself. It's all just very classic stuff. And then
Wait, if
in
you can
here,
go back, can you go back a sec?
sure.
What is
Sure.
what is your detail number 4 where it says times or something times?
So
What-
yeah, so that's a reference to show the material. I can zoom in if you'd like, but essentially it's like a flat acrylic, comes off maybe about an inch or so. It's in the other drawing shows the exact depth.
Mhm.
This is typically used for secondary and tertiary messaging on signage to not compete with like a business name, for example. So that is here. It's just used as a reference to really show. And this 9 right here, that shows what, like the Barney Greengrass lettering, how much that comes off the background. And then this is like again, like a secondary element.
And where would it be used then? This, what's shown in number 4?
Number 4 would be used for since 1940 on the edge. And then the address 155 West 72nd Street on the edges of the sign.
Oh, since 1940, okay.
Yeah. But you know, when you have a business as long as Lester's family's had it, it's nice to be able to celebrate that, right?
For sure. It authenticates it as, history. People love history. People love stories. And some of these people have been shopping us with us since the 40s. So we'll take it full circle.
I don't
Uh,
see anyone from the public, but any other questions from the committee? Otherwise, I love this.
Thank you very much, by the way.
Thank you.
Looks good.
Yep.
All right. Well,
I
there's no
honestly
one.
think it'll do 72nd Street quite a bit of justice when it returns to its old form. And hopefully other retailers follow suit and make their signs look as good as ours. And I don't say that braggingly, I say that genuinely.
There was
That's
just a
it.
great New York Times documentary about other sign makers in New York City. Not you, Alexander, but it's coming back.
It depends on with the new design of 72nd Street.
Jay,
if
we're not
anyone
gonna
will be
discuss
able
that now.
to
Jay,
get in.
Jay, we're not gonna discuss that now. Okay. 155 West 72nd Street is located on the Upper West Side, Central Park West Historic District. The proposed signage is reflective of the historic commercial character of 72nd Street. I will delete the second period. Any comments? Otherwise, I would put that up for a vote. In favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, excellent. That passes 5-0-0-0. Okay. I will promote Leah. Sorry again that we missed you earlier, but we will add you to the agenda right now since it was publicly posted.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
folks.
so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear and see me?
Yeah, let me interrupt you for just 1 second. Adam, just for the record, since we're supposed to vote to approve agendas, we should probably vote to approve the agenda and add this item.
Will you make a motion?
Yes, that's my motion.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
All
All right,
right.
I'm raising my hand. My laptop's gonna die, so I have my video off. I'm sorry.
Okay,
All right,
you.
yeah, feel free to share your screen and yeah.
Hello, and thank you again for letting me present this to you guys. Hopefully this is not that huge of a lift. Don't know why it's not. Oh, here. Okay, I am presenting on behalf of the First Baptist Church in the city of New York, which is on the northwest corner of 76 and Broadway. We are essentially just asking for permission and to allow a replacement of a gate that is quite old. I am a trustee at this church, so I am coming to you guys with not much architecture experience, but a lot of passion and excitement. So just a quick context about the church. The church was founded in around 1762. It's a very, very old church. It was founded by John Gunnow, who was George Washington's chaplain in the First Revolutionary Army. Very interesting. We have a fascinating photo that is probably not real in one of our chapels of George Washington baptizing John Gunnow. We have the church was built in 1890 to 1893 and has lived on this intersection since then. So just to quickly go through this, this is our beautiful church. And if you guys are ever in the Upper West Side, which I'm sure you guys are, I'm sure you guys have seen this church. Just moving forward on terms of where we are located in the historic district. If this is Broadway and this is 79th here, this is the basin. We're just right on this northwest corner. Here's our historic appearance, just that photo that was taken. And this is our proposed location in which we would like to change the gate. As you could see here, it is quite rusted and is really only being held together right now by a rusted chain and a lock. There's a lot of things that could go wrong here, especially when we consider just general egress. We have about 250 attenders and visitors to the church on a given Sunday and about 160 members of the church. So making sure that we have proper egress is very important to us. We've been doing several things at our church just to make sure that we're up to code and up to maintenance with things. And this is just one of those additional things that we would like to do. So here's some close-up details of that gate and the way in which it accordions in and itself over here. And this photo is of actually the 79th Street entrance. The one that we were asking to update is the Broadway entrance. This is just for reference here in terms of what it would look like accordioned. This is not the gate that we would like to replace. We would like to replace the one on the Broadway side. But this is just here for reference in terms of what this looks like accordioned. So the proposed work. The proposed work here is just to do an update of the gate and the way in which it's going to be used. So we're going to update the way that it is closed and opened here with this panel. And we're going to include that expanded metal here. Everything is up to code with DOT and DOB according to our contractors and our subcontractors. And it would be the same material and finish with whatever the existing gate around the church is.
Would
That's
that
about
be
it.
black? Would that be black painted metal,
Yes,
steel, or iron?
yes, yes. All right. Well, that's about it for me. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to take it.
I have one. Leah, the main entrance that is, I guess, triangularly facing the corner,
Mhm.
is that not the entrance that's used for services? Are
It
these
is.
second? It is?
Yeah, so these, I don't know if you guys could see these red doors here. These
Yeah.
doors are open for our services on Sunday mornings. For kind of like office visits or any other weekday visits of the church, we tend to use the 79th Street entrance that I just showed you guys as reference. And then this Broadway entrance, the side that we are trying to get the gate replaced at, is actually just our emergency exit and egress that we just want to make sure is up to code.
Thanks. I don't have a problem with this.
I guess I just have a question. I was walking by there today, in fact, about an hour and a half ago. And so yay, because what you got there is nasty.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about whether the church considered not having gates at all. And I'm agnostic when it comes to that, but I'm just, I'm the pastor of a church nearby, and we've kind of decided not to, but I can understand why you might want to, but was that a consideration at all?
No, to be honest, like we haven't really thought about it like that. We just thought about it as the gate existed and had been existing for many, many years. So what we wanted to just to update whatever we had there. We didn't have a conversation internally with our board on what it would look like to have or not have the gate. That might be a conversation in the future, but as of now, the gate on the 79th Street side, which is the main kind of weekday entrance, and then the entrance on that triangular, like I said before, those red doors, they don't have gates on them. So yeah, I honestly don't know how to answer that question with like a solid yes or no. Yeah, but I think for us, we were just logically thinking like, hey, there's a gate, let's get it looking good.
Well, the design is much improved.
Yeah, but that's a great consideration, and I'm totally happy to bring that back to my committee.
Okay, thanks.
Great. I will share the resolution, but feel similarly to folks that this is relatively uncontroversial. So 265 West 79th is located in the Riverside Weston Historic District Extension 1. The proposed gate will be unintrusive when opened and appropriate when closed. Any other comments?
You might say the proposed replacement gate.
Yeah, the existing one is really on its last legs.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
And I'm working on learning how to spell, I promise.
Right. And I would say relatively unobtrusive, or
Yep. All right.
Looks good.
All right, all in favor?
Sure.
All right, I see 5.
Yes.
Excellent. Again, sorry that we neglected to initially have you on the agenda. Glad we could slot you in, since I know you had wanted to come in June as well. So
Thank
that's-
you.
Yeah,
that
thank you
is-
guys.
That's
No,
on
thank
me
you guys so much.
for taking vacation last week.
No, please don't apologize for that. In the future, I'll probably be the one continuing to do this. So maybe I could just follow up with you guys if I submit something, just to see if it's gone through.
Perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely. We typically do a couple of rounds of communication, so we're sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Any new business? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'm happy to make that motion.
I'm happy to second it.
All right. All in favor? All right. See you guys in September. Thank you
Right.
very
Nice
much.
to see you all.
Thank
Bye,
you,
all.
everyone.